What's up guys, it's Rob from Harmony here, hope you're doing good. So what do writers and guitar players have in common? That's what we're going to talk about today, so stick around. So when I talk about writers, what I mean is imagine an author. An author uses words to put together to make sentences, which make paragraphs, put them into chapters, which makes a book. So the whole process of writing is very structured in that sort of way. That's something that we can definitely apply to our guitar playing, more in terms of the lead playing, which is what we've been talking about lately on this channel anyway. I've done a couple of videos, the last two anyway, about lead playing and how to get started playing lead guitar and guitar solos and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm talking about today in terms of how to relate what an author might do with what a guitar player could do. And the main thing I want you to think about is to imagine a paragraph in a book. And imagine that paragraph had absolutely no punctuation at all. So it was just word after word after word after word after word after word. And you don't know when to breathe, when to take a gap or anything like that. You might not even know when the thing ends if it doesn't have a full stop. Technically that doesn't finish it off, does it? So that, believe it or not, is how a lot of people think that they need to start their lead guitar playing. If they're just getting started playing over backing tracks and things like that, they might learn a few notes. Like in the last couple of videos, I've given some examples of notes that you can use which will get you started playing lead guitar. So let's just say you've learnt those notes. By the way, I will link those videos in the description below, so check those out if you're still new to playing lead guitar and stuff like that. But let's just say you've learnt those notes, now you know which notes to use and you want to start experimenting with them. And then you're going to stick on a backing track as well and jam along with the track using those notes to try and come up with something. What a lot of people tend to do is just play constantly, all of the time, note after note after note. If there's any gaps in the backing track or any gaps at all, they just want to fill them with notes. And that's not always the best thing to do and the best way to think about it. So like I said, think about an author. They're going to use punctuation to make the paragraph read better. So you can use punctuation in your guitar playing to make the overall thing sound better to people listening to it. So the main punctuation marks that I want to talk about are obviously full stops and commas. Really important. I'm going to kind of group those two together because they're basically your pauses. I have a pause within a phrase. So if you imagine a sentence, it's got a comma in the middle of it. That could be a line that you're playing on the guitar, a group of notes, but you don't want to finish that phrase with a full stop. You just want to put a little comma in there, a tiny little break, and then continue that phrase. Or a full stop would be to play something and then completely stop and then play another phrase after a little breather or something like that. Have a little pause, give the listener time to sort of get their head around what you've just played. And the last bit of punctuation I want to talk about, really important, is the exclamation mark. When you read something that's got an exclamation mark or sometimes many exclamation marks next to it, that kind of implies that that word is either shouted or it's just louder, more emphasis on that note. And that could be the dynamics in the guitar playing, couldn't it? So in terms of how loud or quiet you play something, if you want something to be louder, that's going to be something that's got an exclamation mark next to it. That sort of thing. You add these sorts of things into your guitar playing, into your lead playing. Let's just say, like I said, you've learnt those notes. Now you're going to put some pauses in it, you know, because less is more. That's what we've been talking about recently as well. Really not forgetting that you don't have to do too much. That's why we only sort of learned how to play lead guitar just using first 4 notes and then 5 notes in the second video. Still not an awful lot, but the more you can do with less, the better. So now with a little bit of thought, you can add some pauses in there, and those pauses can be quite long as well. There's even a great phrase, and I can't remember where I heard this, but it was something like, a great guitar player, it's not just the notes they play, it's the notes that they don't play, which make all of the difference and make things sound great. So the gaps and the pauses are super important for making the whole thing sound great, and it builds tension and it just creates a better sound overall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the guitar, I'm going to play over a backing track. I'm going to keep it simple, I'm not going to play too much, but yeah, I'm just going to put some pauses in there, some commas if you would, some audio commas, and I'm going to put some more emphasis on certain notes to make them stand out, which could be the exclamation marks, that sort of thing, just as a demonstration of, again, how to make your lead guitar playing sound more interesting. So let's check that out. there you go, that's all we're going to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope it was useful, and I hope it gave you a new little way of thinking about how you can approach lead guitar playing to make your playing sound better, because there are guitar players out there who just play note, 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 note constantly, and it's quite hard to listen to if there's no pauses or anything like that. So definitely have a think about this sort of thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please click the like button. It really helps us out. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, so we'll see you in our next video.